MM2's quit message is goodbye forever. So I'm kind of in a bit of a toss-up between playing Kokorone or Totally Rad for the intermission. They're both around about like 30 or 40 minutes. If if they chopped like 3 levels in New Ghostbusters 2 in half, that game would not be so intimidating and might only be like 30 or 40 minutes. But yeah, New Ghostbusters 2 is painful at parts. It's like levels 2, 4, and 5, I think, are just ridiculously long with a lot of really dangerous enemies. Good luck, fun have. Thank you, Firebat. Same to you. Race will begin. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Let's see, DuckTales and Maniac Mansion are both like 10 minutes long. So those can't last the full intermission. So yeah, I'll probably do like a coin flip or something. I forget if I actually have a coin flip or if I have just dice, which is basically a coin flip. Nice, get me out of here. Oh, I almost got a 44. That's not the right chat window. There we go. Kokorone does have a pumpkin and does have a skull. It also has a clown. But I'd either be pumpkin or skull. Actually, since I have to use, well, since I choose to use a second character for one level, I could do both. Totally Rad is really only like pseudo spooky because of the giant boss sprites that are big crazy looking monsters. Whoops. Not a good start. And I think before I ever play Monster in My Pocket ever again, ever, I think I need to rewatch a speedrun of that game to get some refreshers on some strategies. because that is a game that is very easy for me to game over in. Whereas stuff like Totally Rad is really easy for me to beat in one sitting, even though it is like a 30 to 40 minute long game. But I think we'll probably just go with Cocorone. I think it's been a little while since I've played that as well. Now I just need to decide on the rest of the loadout. Mostly which weapon I'm going to be using. Could just play it safe and use pencil. It's probably my favorite weapon in that game. Pencils are scary if they're very sharp. I don't know what would be a scarier weapon in Cocorone. There's weapons that are scary because they're bad. But that's not the kind of scary I'm going for. Remember a scary scene in Batman. And I remember NES Batman being a very scary video game because it's hard as hell. It's still like a really fucking good game, but I'm just not very good at Ninja Gaiden clones. I guess ninjas are also a popular Halloween costume. And there's a ninja character in Cocorone. There's this one scary game where there are dead bodies on the title screen. Dude, I still can't think of another Super Nintendo game, at the very least. Got Alcatraz. Can't think of another Super Nintendo game that has dead bodies on the title screen. There's a couple that have, like, blood on the title screen. I mean, now I'm wondering if the Super Nintendo port of Doom has, like, an actual title screen to it, or if it's just, like, the text overlaid on the demo. Because that would be the only one I could think of that could possibly have a dead body on the cover. But that would be like a demon body. I don't know if that counts. I haven't played that one Ultimate game, so I don't know how I feel about demons and gargoyles being real people. And since it's an Ultimate game, that means I'm only ever going to watch videos on it. Nice accidental damage boost. The only Ultima games I'd actually be interested in trying out would be the two Ultima Underworld games. I don't mind a heavily pixelated style in a first-person shooter/adventure game. I'd have to find out what the TGM equivalent is for my first playthrough, though. Which reminds me, the big gaming thing that I did over this past week. I'm trying to remember if those bonkers Vampire Survivors playthroughs were earlier this week or if that was last week. Where I kept finding candy boxes, so I kept finding new weapons to fill the screen with nonsense. And then I found a couple of the, like, I guess the evolved version of the candy box, which allows you to take a fully evolved weapon instead of the base version. I took screenshots, but I don't think I remembered to actually post them in Discord. So I think it was late as fuck one night, and I just, like... When I had tried to go to bed, I only fell asleep for like 2 hours, and then I was wide the fuck awake for like another handful. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna play Vampire Survivors until my eyes get tired. Ended up single-handedly making the game lose its shit like I was playing multiplayer. So that's always fun. Also, there was a video that I watched, I forget who did it, but the premise was this guy's fan base was going to vote on the hardest video game on every single video game console that has at least 30 some odd video games. If I'm remembering right, the Ninja Gaiden series showed up on multiple consoles. Got him. Trying to remember what game won for hardest game on Super Nintendo. There's the Halloween suit. Trick or treat, motherfuckers. I don't think it was a new video. It could have been a number of months / years old. And also, since I've never played any version of the following game, I was surprised to find out that the original Rayman is apparently a really hard game. Dude, if I can just get a 2-round Fantoon at this point, we are looking good. I'm gonna have to watch that speed demo clip a whole bunch more before I get the confidence to try Baby Skip. The one thing I know about the Baby Skip is I remember seeing people messing around with it back before it was called the Baby Skip, and they were trying to decide, like, okay, what's this trick gonna be called? And I think it was on Cop Power's stream. And they were initially gonna call it Dancing with the Big Boy. which I got a kick out of because that was before Cool Kid changed his handle. I think I actually saw him streaming, like, relatively recently. Like, at some point earlier this year. It's already getting kind of difficult to see Samus. Guess if we really wanted to be spooky, we could play as a ghost. The invisible Samus. But I don't feel like torturing myself. That's probably going to have to be a casual playthrough before a run. Good farming. Why can't I get that every time? Because random numbers hate video game players. Good. We've got yellow wave beam. That means ice beam's not going to be yellow. Butts. Don't know where I'm going. Send help. Actually gonna have to go back and watch a VOD because I caught the tail end of a Feasel stream. I think either yesterday or the day before. Playing some old arcade game that I've never heard of before. And his webcam is a different kind of goofy now, which is always fun to see. Well, it's not a red ice beam, but it's a very dark magenta. We shall accept willingly. guess I do have a couple, like, very specifically Halloween-themed Steam games as well. Actually, now that I think of it, I'm not sure if I actually own that game or if it's just on my wish list. It's called Save the Halloween. There is still part of my thought process that is still trying to remember what that one YouTube video ranked as the hardest game on the Super Nintendo. The hardest game on the NES, I remember, because I was actually, like, not really surprised when they announced what it was. Oh, that's right, because he said Ninja Gaiden would have won, but I think he vetoed it. What actually ended up winning was Holy Diver. The funny thing is, during the NES segment, they did not even mention Deadly Towers. Which was kind of surprising to me, because I've always known Deadly Towers to be one of the more difficult games on the system. Which is, again, why I wanted it to be one of the first ones that I ever bought for the system. To force myself into trying to play it at a certain point. I just remember that Deadly Towers has one of the greatest lines in all of video gaming when it describes your starting weapon. It essentially says something like, you know, the sword isn't very good, or it's, you know, just your basic sword. But the funny part was when they said, using this sword makes you feel lonely. Alright, right fast, buddy. Right fast. Got him. Got him. Alright. I don't know patterns from here. Oh my god, really? Please, let me hit 2 of these, come on. Got him. Now watch, Dragon is gonna give me like 10 fucking swoops. Kill this run deader than Kelsey's nuts. Place bombs correctly. Get my turnaround. Now that Halo music is over, sit here and bring up something that I was thinking about when I was watching um, a live stream from Patrician TV the other night. He was playing the Halo CE remake because they needed to remake that for some reason. But maybe it's just the fact that I'm a Nintendo kid. I never really saw Halo as the kind of franchise that could sell a console. But I think that's mostly just me. Like, I remember it got popular, but at the same time, I'm not really sure as to why, besides it having, you know, the full support of Microsoft behind it, why a game like that got as big as it did and not something like Time Splitters. Yeah, I think it's mostly because I just never got into it at the time. And if I... Whoops. I've still got the CDs for the PC version of Halo sitting around somewhere. Again, I think it's just the fact that I'm not really like a big first-person shooter fan. They're fun games. I mean, I've had my fun with Doom and Doom 2 and various Doom WADs. What I've played of Ion Fury was a whole lot of fun. But again, this is part of me being kind of an oddball gamer. Because I'm not going to... I'm not going to buy a brand new console, first and foremost. And if I'm going to buy a console, even an older one, I need to have a list of like 5 or 6 games that I can get right off the bat for it that are 100% things that I want to play. Or like when I bought an NES, I was regularly shopping at a used game store that had an incredible collection of NES games, and I knew at some point I was going to run them out. And I kind of did that. And the NES, the Super NES, N64, the PS2. They just don't have any good games for those consoles anymore that I don't already have. Oh, oh yeah, I finally got around to watching Madular's like 3-hour-long video analysis of Xenosaga. Or was it Xenogears? No, it was Xenogears. The PS1 one. Okay, that room is gonna cost me. And yeah, I can safely say that after watching that video on Xenosaga, I have no desire to actually play that game. It's neat looking, but it's got a whole lot of bullshit going on. This whole lot of bullshit is not ready yet. Oh my god, hit the thing. Yeah, it's gonna be my map navigation that ends up killing this run. As per usual. Real work slogans. It's a kind of magic. It is. A truer slogan has probably never been uttered. I can't get in there. Going into morph keeps killing my momentum. Because I'm doing it wrong. Let's get some good farming. Come on. Okay, that's enough input apparently. That keeps happening. I'm not pressing far enough down on the right input button. Still think I need like some kind of custom controller that has separated D-pad buttons. Either that or just like a big enough D-pad that fat thumbing wouldn't be as easy to do. Fat thumbing, new and improved. Even smaller D-pads and even fatter thumbs. Here come the swoops. Yep, yep, yep. I don't think that was 10, but... maybe it was 10 in total. And Samus is very hard to see on a black background. God, I'm gonna have to look up that one YouTube video again. Shouldn't be that deep into my viewing history. Got all swoops. Nice. Oops, all swoops. Actually, I'm wondering if the game that got the hardest game on the SNES, I'm wondering if that was one of the shmups. Because there were a lot of shmups that ended up getting ranked as like some of the top most difficult games on every console. Unsurprisingly, Ikaruga showed up a whole lot. Because it's on a lot of systems, and it never got any easier. I actually have Ikaruga on the Wii here as a WiiWare game. The one that kind of surprised me was the Wii U. Because apparently, fuck, that just killed every kind of time. The game that won hardest game on the Wii U was Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I guess that just speaks to like the difficulty level of Wii U games. I don't know, maybe that game's harder than I think it is, but it's also got that like one-hit KO mode where you play as Funky. I think even the guy in the video was saying that's probably what people were thinking of when they ranked that number one. Because yeah, I imagine playing through a DKC game with one-hit kills is pretty rough. And like permanent one-hit kills. Not like you take a hit and then you have to play as the other monkey. No, you just play as Funky. Definitely remember that Ninja Gaiden won hardest game on the Xbox. And then Ninja Gaiden Black won hardest game on the 360. And then the remake of Ninja Gaiden won on the Xbox One, I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to remember if any of the Dark Souls games actually won hardest game on the console, but I don't think they did. I think some other FromSoft game took top honors for like the PS3 or PS4. But this was apparently long enough ago that I don't remember what the list looked like. Hands off yo buttons. Little drops. Every time I hear music from Etrian Odyssey, it makes me desperately try to remember which one of those games I have on my 3DS. It's either 3 or 4. I think it's 4. But it's a fucking first-person dungeon crawler, so I'd probably like it. And that just reminds me about dungeon crawlers that I got another character put through the Daggerfall Skyrim mod. It's only ever going to be like when Sky Oblivion comes out that I'm going to stop going on about that Daggerfall mod. I just enjoy the hell out of that mod. Making Skyrim feel like an old school dungeon crawler is just a good feeling. Are you dead yet? Not the worst fight. Could have gone better, but not by that much. And this latest character, again, was my actual stealth archer. So many levels in Sneak that I can crouch directly in front of an enemy and it can't see me. Now that's fucking silly. And and I had to bust out my notes to remember how exactly I do the Fortify Restoration glitch. Almost got it working without even crafting a new set of alchemy gear. Almost just did it with the first couple items. How are the enemies here even seeing you? Unfortunately, being a stealth archer in Super Metroid doesn't work the same way as it does in Skyrim. I want to say there were less than 10 enemies in that Skyrim playthrough, in that Skygerfall playthrough, that actually, like, saw me. Maybe that's exaggerating a little bit. Maybe it was less than 20. But there were multiple dungeons that I cleared out, and not a single enemy recognized the shadowy figure that was crouching right in front of them. Because I usually don't spec into stealth. If I do spec into stealth, it's much later on in my playthrough. But for this one character, I did it from, like, the very beginning. And I mean, I've used stealth archery tactics with a number of my characters, but I've never, like, only one other time have I ever, like, actually spec'd into being a stealth archer. And, you know, it's still kind of fun. As opposed to the people that have been playing the game from release, that have gotten sick and tired of just about every possible build there is in that game. Then I need to actually piss off the dragons with that character. Start learning some shouts so that I can access one of the other mods that I have installed. And I can never remember the name of the mod. I keep wanting to say Somerset Isles, but that's an actual location in Elder Scrolls. It's the Summer something Isles. I ran through it with my orc character that I played ages ago. Or maybe it was that... No, I think it was actually the mod showcase set of streams that I did. That's when I had the mod for the very Dark Souls inspired area. I don't have that one anymore. The big reason I have the other one, the Summer Something Isles, is I mean it's a DLC sized mod, first of all. And second of all, they have they have a particular enchantment. There's Firebat finishing first. A 49.01. GG. There's a particular enchantment in that mod that grants it's like fortified destruction power. So instead of just making destruction magic cost nothing to cast, it actually increases the power of the spells. So then you can just start one-shotting everything with your basic-ass flame spell. Gives a meal insane Firebat appeal. Big thing that's left is I need to get Zeb skip on first try. I need to not jump into this side hopper again. There we go. I don't know how I ended up facing right. Let's make sure we get screw attack turned back on. That doesn't go there. Hey, you give me a refund on that missile. Dead? Gonna make sure. Confirm the kill. Got her. Oh boy. Come on, man. Let's find out how bad my map navigation was. Square. Actually, really wish that Final Fantasy ROM hack that I had for Kokoron actually worked. That'd be some funny shit. 54-34. There we go, baby. Now let's just shut up and make sure we finish this run out right. Boing. Had to get the bomb jump. I bonked the ceiling. I didn't drop off the ledge. I've got a little bit of time to play with, but not too much. Good music for the escape. All right, now let's go fuck it all up by saving the animals. No! Get in the fucking boat. I hit shift. That's a PB. That is a massive PB. Oh my god, I haven't done that in so fucking long. It feels so good. GG. Yeah, thank you, War Drinker. We did in fact do the thing. Oh my god, I have oftentimes joked in my head that if I PB again in one of these runs, that the next one should be an invisible run. But I don't know, man. 39. Whew. It must be done. Yep, old PB was 5704. Let's go change that right now. Boom. Yeah, I guess the secret was just to play as a Samus that was barely visible. Now we have to take the next step. Oh god. Well, that's proof. That's proof that this route can go lower than I thought it could. And that run can get better. Dragon, Batoon, and Ridley could all be a little bit better. Force! But man, we got some stars to line up on that one. And of course, map navigation could be cleaner, as always. I missed that jump coming out of Plasma and fell all the fucking way down. That had to waste like 3 or 4 seconds at least. Well, all right.